First contact. The observer's mistake. Commander Zara Vex stood motionless before the quantum observation deck of the research vessel Astral Seeker, her iridescent scales reflecting the soft blue glow of Earth's atmosphere. After 15 cycles of deep space exploration, something about this unremarkable planet made her primary sensory nodes tingle with unease. Secondary confirmation complete, Commander, announced Chief Scientist Nexer, his crystalline form shifting through shades of deep purple as he processed the data streams. The electromagnetic signatures we're detecting. They're unlike anything in our databases. The third planet of this yellow star shouldn't have warranted more than a standard survey ping. Yet here they were, a crew of the galaxy's most experienced xenobiologists and researchers, hovering at the edge of its atmosphere in violation of at least 6 non-interference protocols. "Show me the pattern analysis," Vex commanded, her inner eyelids flickering as the holographic display materialized before her. The planet's surface blazed with countless points of light, but it was the chaotic web of energy signatures connecting them that drew her attention. These can't be natural formations. Nexer manipulated the controls with his energy tendrils, zooming in on one of the larger population centers. "Look at their development patterns, Commander. They're completely illogical. Some regions show quantum computing capabilities while others still rely on primitive combustion engines. They're advancing without any discernible order." "Impossible," Vex muttered, but the evidence was undeniable. Every known species followed the same basic progression of technological development, each discovery building logically upon the last. But these beings, these humans, seemed to be discovering technologies at random, often skipping crucial developmental stages entirely. The ship's AI, designated Archive, added its analysis. Their neural patterns suggest a species-wide cognitive architecture that should be unstable. Yet somehow, this very instability appears to drive their innovation. Vex's scales shifted to a deep blue of concern as she watched the humans go about their daily activities. They built massive structures with no regard for optimal design, created art that served no practical purpose, and spent enormous resources on entertainment, simulating scenarios that could never exist. "They're not just defying optimization," Nexer observed, his crystalline form vibrating with excitement. "They're thriving because of it. Every inefficiency, every illogical choice somehow feeds back into their development cycle." The research team spent 3 local solar rotations observing, their confusion growing with each new discovery. Humans fought wars with primitive projectile weapons while simultaneously developing nuclear fusion. They competed fiercely over arbitrary resources while collaborating on massive engineering projects. Their social structures were a maze of contradictions that somehow functioned despite themselves. Then came the incident that changed everything. "Commander," the urgent harmonic from junior researcher Tell cut through the observation deck's quiet hum. "We're detecting an energy signature directed at our position. It's using principles we've never seen before." Vex's scales flashed white with alarm. "Impossible. Our quantum camouflage is perfect. They shouldn't have the technology to." "But they do," Nexer interrupted, his crystal form now pulsing with rapid flashes of light. "They've somehow developed detection capabilities that shouldn't be possible for at least another millennium of normal technological progression." The next few moments confirmed their worst fears. Multiple launch signatures erupted from the planet's surface, using propulsion systems that defied known physics. The humans hadn't just detected them. They had developed countermeasures for technology they shouldn't even know existed. "Emergency protocols," Vex commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos erupting around her. "Begin data purge and prepare for immediate." She never finished the order. A pulse of energy unlike anything in their records swept through the ship, temporarily disrupting their systems. When the quantum screens reactivated, they showed something that sent shivers through every crew member: a fleet of human vessels, emerging from what appeared to be artificially generated spatial folds. Technology that should have been centuries beyond their capabilities. "They weren't just watching us," Nexer whispered, his crystalline form dimming with the realization. They were learning. Every moment we studied them, they were studying us back, and they learned faster than we ever thought possible. Commander Vex made the decision that would change the course of galactic history. Instead of retreating, she opened a communication channel. After all, they had come to study the unknown, and they had just discovered something more unknown than anything in recorded history. They were about to learn exactly why human unpredictability made them the most fascinating, and potentially the most dangerous, species in the known galaxy. The silent infiltration. The quantum screens aboard the Astral Seeker projected images of humanity's major population centers, each one a glowing nexus of chaotic activity. Commander Vex had made the unprecedented decision to establish diplomatic contact, but the humans' response had been equally unprecedented. Silence. "They're watching us," Nexer observed, his crystalline structure vibrating at a frequency that indicated deep unease. "But they're not responding to any of our communication attempts." The human vessels maintained their position, their engines humming with impossible energy signatures. They had formed a precise geometric pattern around the Astral Seeker, a pattern that seemed to serve no tactical purpose, yet radiated an unmistakable sense of deliberate design. "Analysis of their formation complete," Archive announced. "They appear to be generating some form of quantum resonance field. Purpose unknown." Commander Vex's scales shifted through patterns of deep thought. They're not attacking. They're not retreating. They're experimenting. The revelation hit the research team like a gravitational wave. The humans weren't responding because they were conducting their own research. Every movement of their ships, every fluctuation in their energy fields, was part of a methodical investigation of alien capabilities. "Launch the atmospheric probes," Vex commanded. "If they want to study us, let's study them back." The probes descended through Earth's atmosphere, their adaptive camouflage rendering them nearly undetectable. But as they approached their designated observation points, something unexpected happened. The probe's sensors detected a vast network of monitoring stations hidden beneath the surface of human civilization. "Commander," Tal called out, his young voice carrying notes of astonishment. "These monitoring stations, they're old, decades old, at least. They've been preparing for extraterrestrial contact long before we arrived." The data streaming back from the probes painted an increasingly complex picture. Humanity had built an entire shadow infrastructure dedicated to the possibility of alien contact. But unlike the logical, methodical approach of known civilizations, humans had prepared for thousands of different scenarios simultaneously. "Look at their entertainment archives," Nixer said, displaying a stream of human media. "They've been imagining first contact scenarios for centuries. Not just imagining, rehearsing. Every story, every simulation, every piece of speculative fiction was preparation." Commander Vex watched as the probes revealed layer after layer of human society. Behind their apparent chaos lay patterns of stunning complexity. Their seeming technological inconsistencies weren't random. They were deliberate. They maintained multiple parallel development paths, never committing fully to any single technological trajectory. "They're implementing redundancy on a civilization-wide scale," Vex realized. "If one path of development fails, they have dozens of alternatives already in progress." The human vessels adjusted their formation slightly, and new energy signatures bloomed across their sensors. They weren't just studying the Astral Seeker's technology. They were actively replicating it, improving it, combining it with their own innovations in ways the alien researchers had never considered. "Commander," Archive's usually neutral tone carried an edge of concern. "I'm detecting quantum entanglement signatures from the human vessels. They're achieving instantaneous communication across their fleet using principles that violate our understanding of physics." The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just prepared for first contact, they had prepared to surpass whoever they met. Their chaotic approach to technology, their seemingly inefficient redundancies, their obsession with imagining impossible scenarios. It was all part of a species-wide strategy to ensure they would never be at a disadvantage. New energy signature detected, Tal announced, his harmonics sharp with alarm. The humans are activating something on their lunar satellite. The moon's surface rippled as massive structures emerged from hidden chambers, structures that, according to every principle of technological progression, shouldn't exist for another 1,000 years. The humans had built them in secret, waiting for the moment they would be needed. They're not just adapting to our presence, Nixer whispered, his crystalline form pulsing with realization. They're transcending every limitation we thought they had. And they're doing it faster than should be possible. Commander Vex made another decision that would alter the course of history. Prepare the containment protocols, she ordered. We need to understand how they think. Select 3 subjects for detailed study. But be warned, we're not dealing with a pre-spaceflight civilization anymore. We're dealing with something entirely new. As the Astral Seeker's crew began preparations for their next phase of research, none of them realized they were playing directly into humanity's carefully laid plans. The chaos they had observed wasn't humanity's weakness, it was their greatest weapon. And they were about to demonstrate exactly why. Breaking protocol. The Astral Seeker's containment chambers hummed with energy as Senior Security Officer Rax conducted final systems checks. The selection of human test subjects had been precise. Dr. Thomas Wright, a quantum physicist whose research bordered on prescient. Lieutenant Catherine Drake, a military strategist with an uncanny ability to predict alien tactical patterns, and Professor James Morrison, a linguist whose theories about extraterrestrial communication had proven disturbingly accurate. Containment fields at maximum strength, Rax reported, his metallic exoskeleton reflecting the chamber's bright lights. The subjects will remain in perfect stasis until examination begins. Commander Vex surveyed the unconscious humans through the quantum barrier. Begin neural mapping. I want to understand how their minds create these impossible cognitive leaps. The first signs of trouble appeared within hours. The neural patterns of all 3 subjects showed unprecedented levels of activity even in their induced sleep state. Their brains weren't just processing. They were adapting to the alien technology surrounding them. Commander, Nixer called out, his crystalline form flickering with concern. The subjects' neural patterns are synchronizing with our containment field frequencies. It's as if their minds are instinctively learning the principles of our technology. Dr. Wright was the first to regain consciousness. Instead of showing fear or confusion, his first words sent a chill through the observation team. Your quantum containment matrix is fascinating, but the harmonic resonance is unstable at the 4th frequency node. Lieutenant Drake awoke next, her eyes immediately scanning the chamber with calculated precision. Interesting choice of geometry, she noted, her voice steady. Though if you're trying to prevent quantum tunneling, you might want to adjust your field generators by about 6 degrees. Professor Morrison completed the trio, and his first action was to begin communicating with the ship's AI in its own base language protocols. Your linguistic architecture is elegant, he commented, but rather rigid. Have you considered adaptive syntax algorithms? Impossible, Rax muttered, his exoskeleton vibrating with tension. They couldn't have decoded our systems this quickly. The containment fields are based on principles their civilization shouldn't even comprehend. Commander Vex watched as the 3 humans engaged in what appeared to be casual conversation, but her enhanced senses detected subtle patterns in their speech. They weren't just talking, they were exchanging and processing information about their surroundings with remarkable efficiency. They're not just understanding our technology, Nixer realized, his crystal structure pulsing with alarm. They're improving it. Every question they ask, every observation they make, it's all part of a systematic analysis of our capabilities. The breakthrough, and the disaster, came during what was supposed to be a routine neural scan. Dr. Wright had been discussing theoretical physics with the research team, his questions becoming increasingly specific about the ship's quantum field generators. Nobody noticed that each response they gave was being mentally mapped and analyzed by all three humans simultaneously. At exactly 300 hours ship time, every containment field on the Astral Seeker collapsed simultaneously, not through force or complex hacking, but through a fundamental understanding of the system's underlying principles that the humans had pieced together through mere observation and deduction. Lieutenant Drake moved with impossible precision, as if she had memorized every detail of the ship's layout from the minimal glimpses she'd had. Professor Morrison engaged directly with the ship's AI, using its own protocols to create a cascade of system overrides. Dr. Wright began reconfiguring the ship's quantum fields with an expertise that suggested years of study rather than hours of observation. Full lockdown, Vex commanded, her scales flashing emergency patterns. But the humans had already anticipated this response. They weren't trying to escape. They were transforming the Astral Seeker's own systems into something new, something that violated the known laws of physics. They're not just using our technology, Nexer observed with a mixture of horror and awe. They're evolving it. Every security measure we implement, they adapt and improve upon it within minutes. The humans' true purpose became clear when they reached the ship's quantum core. Dr. Wright interfaced directly with the energy matrix, his mind somehow capable of processing the multidimensional calculations required for quantum manipulation. "Thank you for the advanced course in xenotechnology," he said, his voice carrying a note of genuine gratitude. "But now it's time for humanity to take the next step." A pulse of energy unlike anything in the ship's records erupted from the quantum core, rippling through space-time itself. When the sensors stabilized, the research team faced a stunning reality. The humans hadn't just escaped. They had used the Astral Seeker's own technology to achieve something unprecedented. "They've created a quantum bridge," Nexer announced, his crystalline form dimming with shock. "They've linked our ship's technology directly to every major research facility on Earth. Everything we know, everything we are. Humanity now has access to all of it." Commander Vex made the only decision she could. "Send the emergency signal to the Galactic Council," she ordered. "We haven't just discovered a new spacefaring species. We've awakened something that could reshape the very foundations of galactic civilization." As the Astral Seeker's crew prepared for the inevitable response from Earth's now rapidly advancing military forces, they finally understood their true error. They had assumed they were studying a primitive species, never considering that humanity's apparent chaos was actually a form of evolution so advanced it appeared as disorder to their rigid, logical minds. The tables turn. The Astral Seeker's emergency protocols activated as Earth's response materialized around them. What emerged from the quantum bridges wasn't the primitive military response they had anticipated, but rather a demonstration of just how completely they had underestimated humanity's potential. Fleet Admiral Rebecca Winters stood on the bridge of the ESS Prometheus, humanity's first quantum-enhanced warship. The vessel, along with its sister ships, represented decades of secret technological development, a development that had accelerated exponentially thanks to the data acquired from the alien research vessel. "Target the Astral Seeker's propulsion systems," she ordered, her voice carrying the weight of years of preparation for this moment. "Non-destructive containment protocols only. We have much to learn from our visitors." Commander Vex watched as human vessels emerged from quantum space using technologies that seamlessly blended alien principles with uniquely human innovations. The Astral Seeker's sensors registered energy signatures that defied their understanding. Humanity hadn't just copied their technology, they had transformed it. "They're using quantum entanglement in ways we never considered possible," Nexer reported, his crystalline form vibrating with a mixture of fear and fascination. "They've somehow managed to combine their chaotic thought patterns with quantum computing, creating systems that operate on intuition as much as logic." The human fleet moved with perfect coordination, each ship positioning itself within a complex geometric pattern that seemed to bend the fabric of space-time itself. Admiral Winters' voice came through on all frequencies, transmitted in perfect alien language protocols. "We understand your mission was one of scientific discovery. We share that passion. But you should know that humanity has been preparing for this moment since we first looked up at the stars. Every story we told, every theory we proposed, every seemingly illogical technological path we pursued, it was all preparation for this day. Director Marcus Chen, head of Earth's Xenotechnology Integration Division, stepped forward on the Prometheus's bridge. His team had already begun implementing improvements to the alien technology they'd acquired. Your containment protocols were impressive, he transmitted to the Astral Seeker. But you failed to account for human creativity. We don't just adapt to new technologies, we reimagine them entirely. The truth of humanity's unique development pattern became clear to the alien researchers. What they had dismissed as chaos was actually an intentional strategy. Humans hadn't followed the standard progression of technological development because they had been simultaneously pursuing multiple possible paths, preparing for any first contact scenario they could imagine. They're not just ready for contact, Rax observed, his exoskeleton registering increasing stress patterns. They've been actively working toward this moment, developing technologies that complement and counter anything they might encounter. The human fleet's energy signatures shifted, and suddenly the Astral Seeker found itself within a containment field of unprecedented complexity. It wasn't just advanced technology. It was technology that learned and adapted in real time, mirroring humanity's own cognitive patterns. This is not an act of aggression, Admiral Winters transmitted. Consider it a demonstration of mutual scientific interest. You came to study us. Now we would like to study you. The difference is, we're offering you a choice in the matter. Commander Vex faced a decision that would reshape galactic society. The humans hadn't just matched their technology. They had evolved it into something new, something that bridged the gap between logical progression and creative intuition. Their offer wasn't just about scientific exchange. It was about fundamentally changing how species interact and develop. The Galactic Council needs to understand what we've discovered here, Vex announced to her crew. We haven't just found a new spacefaring species. We've encountered a civilization that could revolutionize our understanding of technological and social evolution. As the Astral Seeker's crew prepared for what would become the most significant diplomatic contact in galactic history, they realized that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their adaptability. It was their ability to imagine countless possibilities and prepare for all of them simultaneously. They had turned their greatest apparent weakness, their chaotic, unpredictable nature, into their greatest advantage. The tables hadn't just turned. They had been completely reimagined, and the galaxy would never be the same. Galactic consequences. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with tense energy as representatives from 1,000 civilizations gathered for an emergency session. The vast crystalline dome reflected the varied forms of the assembled delegates, beings of pure energy, crystalline entities, and organic life forms, all united by an unprecedented concern. High Arbiter Nexus, a being of pure quantum consciousness, manifested at the center of the chamber. Before them stood Commander Vex and Admiral Winters, an unlikely pair representing two civilizations whose interaction had forever altered the galactic order. The protocols governing first contact have stood unchallenged for 50,000 cycles. Nexus began, their thoughts resonating through the chamber. Yet in a matter of days, humanity has not only violated these protocols, but demonstrated capabilities that challenge our fundamental understanding of technological progression. Director Chen stepped forward, presenting data crystals containing humanity's complete technological history. We understand your concerns, he addressed the council, but consider that your protocols assume a linear path of development. Humanity chose a different approach. We explored all possible paths simultaneously. The chamber erupted with electromagnetic patterns of disbelief as Chen's presentation revealed the true scope of human preparation. Beneath Earth's seemingly chaotic surface had lain research facilities dedicated to every conceivable branch of science, each pursuing different technological paths in parallel. Your civilizations chose efficiency, Admiral Winters explained. You eliminated paths that seemed suboptimal. Humanity chose to maintain those paths, understanding that what appears inefficient in one context might prove vital in another. Commander Vex's scales shifted to patterns of agreement as she addressed her fellow delegates. We assumed their unpredictability was a weakness. Instead, it gave them the ability to conceptualize and prepare for possibilities we never considered. The Council's attention focused on a holographic display, showing humanity's rapid integration of alien technology. Within weeks, humans had not only mastered principles that took other species millennia to develop, but had begun improving upon them in ways that defied conventional physics. This is precisely why the protocols exist, argued Representative Zinn, their energy form pulsing with concern. Uncontrolled technological advancement threatens the stability of galactic civilization. Or perhaps, Professor Morrison countered, his voice carrying across the chamber through perfectly modulated quantum frequencies, it offers an opportunity for genuine evolution. Your stability has become stagnation. Humanity offers a path to true innovation. The evidence was undeniable. Human quantum computers, operating on principles that merged logical processing with intuitive leaps, had already begun solving problems that had stumped the greatest minds in the galaxy. Their ships, combining alien technology with human creativity, demonstrated capabilities that rendered traditional space warfare doctrine obsolete. "We do not seek dominance," Admiral Winters assured the Council. "We seek partnership. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our adaptability. It's our ability to imagine countless possibilities and work toward them all. We offer this gift to the galaxy." The Council chambers fell silent as Nexus processed the implications. Humanity had effectively demonstrated that their chaotic approach to development, far from being primitive, represented a more advanced form of evolution than the careful, methodical progression favored by galactic civilization. "What you propose," Nexus finally responded, "would fundamentally alter the structure of galactic society. The protocols exist to maintain order." "The protocols exist to prevent harm," Director Chen corrected. "Humanity has demonstrated that controlled chaos, the ability to pursue multiple possibilities simultaneously, can lead to greater advancement than rigid order. We're not asking you to abandon your protocols. We're offering to help you evolve them." The Council's decision would reshape the future of galactic civilization. Humanity's admission to the galactic community wouldn't just add another species to their ranks. It would introduce a new way of thinking about progress itself. The very chaos that the Council had sought to prevent through its protocols might prove to be the key to the galaxy's next great leap forward. As the session concluded, Commander Vex approached Admiral Winters. "When we first detected Earth, we thought we were discovering a primitive civilization. Instead, we discovered the future of galactic evolution." The Admiral smiled. "The universe is chaos, Commander. Humanity simply learned to embrace it sooner than most. Now shall we begin showing the galaxy what ordered chaos can really achieve?" The story of humanity's entrance into galactic society would be told for generations to come, not as a tale of conquest or submission, but as the moment when the galaxy learned that true advancement comes not from following a single path, but from daring to explore them all.